All right, hello everybody. It's February 15th, 2022. I gotta make this a quicker video than usual, slotting this in between a lot of different things going on. Right now it's also ETH Denver, which we'll cover in a bit. And right now also there's a big inflation worry, and there's also a standoff at the Ukrainian and Russian border. So let's kind of go into the news, let's all get on the same page, and let's go into some crypto projects in particular. Inflation right now, 7.5% year over year. So from last month, it was 7%. That is more than I expected. I thought it was going to be around 7.2, 7.3. Now it's 7.5. But, you know, to be fair, it's not like wildly higher. But we are at the highest inflation since 1982. That's really bad. And I think what this signaled was fears that the Fed is going to increase the rates even faster or even more aggressively, and that would cause markets to drop down even faster than what they are. Now, the fear from this is that it will cause a recession, because if the Fed increases rates too much, there's a lot less excess capital. There's a lot of people that won't have money to borrow to either buy stuff, to hire people, to have business loans. Basically, it could really slow down the economy. So this is the thing that the Fed has to decide. And you can see the the 10-year yield, I'm like reading the 2 and saying 2, is above 2% for the first time in a very long time. You can see it's been really going up fast. It's anticipating rate hikes, and we know there's one coming in March, but right now we don't know if there's more. Like, is there one coming before that? Is there going to be like one every month? This is up in the air, right? And the stock market has been very choppy. You can see this past week has been wild. It's like going up and down, pretty steep drop. Not as bad as back in January, but we're getting to that point where we're like flatlining because of uncertainty, and a lot of it is because of the Ukrainian and Russian standoff. This whole week, this has been like escalating, and at some point, the news even said it's coming, it's happening over the weekend. And then there's another news that said it's coming on Wednesday. But today we got news that it's, de-escalating. And that is great for markets. So we go back here. Today actually finally snapped off this like losing streak, right? It was like, duh. And it's finally, everybody's kind of a little bit more comfortable. All right, let's get into crypto news. So that's what's happening on the outside. You can see the macro news controls a lot of what happens in the crypto world. So I want to explain why there was that huge dip in the middle and why there's kind of a recovery today. All right. Now, Binance, if you guys know, one of the largest exchanges, the CEO is probably like the richest person in the world and nobody knows. But basically it is buying part of Forbes, which is very strange, right? And does this mean that Binance is going to control some, with press releases? Are they going to announce coins through this media arm? This is like what I think about when I see news like this, and it's very odd. You don't see the like FTX buying, a newspaper, for example, right? So this is definitely something interesting. The other thing was Russia talking about cryptocurrency, right? And it was at the point in the news where it was dead set. February 18th, it's going to draft a law to say crypto is official currency. Part of this is probably, again, you think about the news behind the news, part of it is probably because of the standoff. And if sanctions are put on them, economic sanctions, then they might have to turn to crypto to get money in and out, to do business. They might have to use crypto internationally. So, this is actually a net positive for crypto, because it shows that there's actually value, that it's really decentralized from fiat or government currencies. And there was more news later that says like this might not be happening. And if that's the case, maybe that's why they pulled off, today. It could be related, you just kind of put the dots together. But I'm not trying to make any conspiracy theories. I'm just pointing out the news. Salesforce saying that it's going to work on an NFT cloud service. Again, probably leaked by some of its employees. And if I were to guess, Salesforce's business model is usually B2B, business to business. So most likely it would generate NFTs for companies and maybe have a marketplace for them to buy and sell. Maybe if you're logged into Salesforce, you can manage that console. These are the kind of things that I think about when I hear news like this. Fun fact, I worked very closely with these people before, or at least I've interacted with them very closely before. This news kind of disappeared, but really Fed is saying that they won't do an emergency rate hike. So that's great news for the markets. Another reason why they're up today. Mastercard. Still, we keep having news of Visa and Mastercard really pushing into crypto. What's going on, American Express and Discover? What are you guys doing? Right. Anyway, Mastercard, more news today about hiring. They're going to create a consultancy arm and really into their crypto arm have about 500 people. So that's pretty big kind of commitment to hire that many people to crypto. That probably means they're making a big bet on it. Another news that I was going to mention later, I don't know why it's here now, but F Denver is happening. Remember what happens every time there's a crypto conference. There's a major dip at the end because, number one, a lot of crypto goes up in anticipation for really big crypto news, and then when nothing happens, it just sells off. Number two is it typically happens during like a party in like the after party for F Denver. So sometime in the next 9 days, we might see like a big flash crash, and then there's going to be people partying, and they're not going to be able to cover their loans or cover their leverage positions. So I don't know if that's true, but there is definitely a pattern where whenever there's a huge crypto conference, that crypto asset sells. And most likely it's because people buy into it and then nothing gets announced and they sell. So that's my my take on the observation. We also have Victoria's Secret getting into NFTs. They're going to sell lingerie in the metaverse, which is kind of weird because like it means people will be wearing underwear walking around in the metaverse. Otherwise, like how would you show it off, right? You're going to show it off to your friends. You're going to hang out in your underwear, right? It made more sense when it was like Nike shoes and Adidas hats or something, but this one is a little more out of left field for me. Another thing about hiring is there's a lot of companies hiring for crypto right now. If you've been part of this program for couple months to even years on this newsletter program, I know a lot of you have already gotten jobs, either doing your own projects or joining companies or joining even crypto projects. And I want to say congratulations. It really it makes me proud. Like I put this out, education out, and then people kind of get interested, and then that's enough for people to shift around, and that is really it's great. I don't know how else to say it, but this is the time. If you guys see, or if you guys want to go into crypto full time, joining a bigger company for it is not necessarily a bad move. It's like a lot less risk because the company has a business model elsewhere. They know it's a high risk position, and you can always move around in that company too. So if it's really hard, for example, to get into Google, maybe that's still really hard to get into, but you can get in as a crypto analyst or a crypto type job and then move around after you're in, right? So just want to say, if you're looking for a job, this is the time, because if crypto drops from here, these job postings are going to get removed slowly. I'll just say, crypto bull. Well, we might as well call it the crypto bull, because during the Super Bowl, there was a ton of Super Bowl ads for crypto. We had Coinbase, which had the QR code that just moved around the screen. FTX, which had a few, I believe, like one with Larry David, which I thought was hilarious. Crypto.com, BitBuy. I think eToro also. It's not even mentioned here. This is the Crypto.com with Matt Damon. But this is very, and by the way, there's also electric vehicle commercials, but a lot of mainstream was just like sick of this, like, oh, crypto again. But it also points that like it is mainstream now, and it's also a land grab now. And what I'm also afraid of is people view this as a gambling thing. So like I'm advertising as much as I can so that I can grab that market share for people to gamble. And I think that's part of it. You wouldn't see coins like Dogecoin and Shiba Inu showing up on these exchanges if it wasn't because they wanted to make money off the transaction fees, right? And a lot of these exchanges, they probably prey on top of that and make money off of people that just want to jump into the hype and probably lose money. If people are jumping in at that phase of the hype cycle, remember we brought in Shiba Inu like over a year ago. It's up over 10,000%. I think it's actually over 1,000,000%, which is sad because I sold it at like a 50% gain. But it is really sad that they release these things so late and people get in and then they lose money, because ultimately it's in the middle of a hype cycle. And you know what I say, don't buy into pumps, right? Buying into pumps is extremely risky. Sometimes it works out, most of the time it doesn't. So that's why I say that. But that was just a very long rant of me saying crypto is mainstream now and they're going for the public markets. Coinbase had a fault on their new interface. So what I'm noticing right now with Coinbase is they opened up an advanced trading portion, which is strange because they have a Coinbase Pro. So you're like, what's the difference between Coinbase Pro and Advanced? My guess is they're going to merge it into one product and focus on one unified look and feel. And then basic users usually don't even know about Coinbase Pro. At least they know advanced trading is on the same screen. This is my guess from a UI product perspective. But that is happening, that new interface had a bug which allowed people to drain money. And this actually, someone posted on Twitter saying like emergency and mentioned the CEO, and the CEO replied like, all right, our team's on it. And they plugged it, which is really cool. Anyways, this is a great story, like a positive story in crypto, which we'll get to some negative ones too. Coinbase went down after their Super Bowl ad. Again, I opened up a Bloomberg ad, which I don't have a subscription for. But let's move on to the next story. So Coinbase went down during the Super Bowl, went back up. And also Coinbase plans to add 2,000 employees in the next year. So this is actually really crazy news. We just talked about Mastercard, a giant company, 350 billion market cap or something like that. They're only adding 500. And then this company obviously is focused on crypto, so it makes sense that they're adding more, but they're adding 2,000. Pretty ridiculous. And that also means that it's going to be big this year with crypto. You're going to see not just NFTs going mainstream, you're going to see like regular coins and payments go mainstream this year too. At least that's my prediction. Why would they hire so many people otherwise to support it? Also to note, like Peloton just laid off a bunch of people. So you could get to these phases of overhiring too. And we might be in that, but right now that's not what they're thinking about. McDonald's just filed a trademark to offer a virtual restaurant with virtual goods. Basically, you can serve McDonald's in the metaverse. I'm not sure if that's very important. CryptoPunks just sold one for 8,000 Ethereum. So I think that's a record. I think that's like $24 million. Not that bad. Whoever sold this made quite a lot. Samsung is going to Samsung-backed university will issue NFTs to graduates. Just another trend that NFTs, like instead of giving you a piece of paper, instead of giving you a ticket, maybe like things are trending toward the blockchain and NFT route. That way, if someone looks at your identity, they'll see the NFT is there and that you've graduated. Okay, let's look at the overall market because this is very interesting. We had actually a flat week because of this major dip in the middle with the macro view of inflation plus the Russian-Ukrainian conflict. So we have this like big dip, right? But the question is why has Bitcoin and Ethereum recovered this week, and some of these others that are usually like layer one projects are actually still down? So one thesis is that a lot of people jumped back into the main like Ethereum, Bitcoin, like retail investors, hedge funds. They're all jumping into these like more well-known coins, whereas these like lesser known, I'd say, but like to people on this newsletter program, you're gonna know these coins obviously. And that's my guess. And you can see all of them are still not caught up with Ethereum and Bitcoin. One thing I want to point out is that the F Denver conference thing. So whenever you see a conference, people sell off. So this week, I am going to be a little more conservative and say one of your coins should be UST. And UST just got listed natively on Kraken, actually, which we'll get to. But if you have UST this week, you can put it into Anchor, get 20% returns. We're going to get into that news too. I would think one of my holdings right now should be a stable coin if I'm seeing this crazy surge in prices over pretty much nothing. I mean, pretty much bad news because like we are anticipating interest rates to go up. However, let's go through more projects and look for some other things to look at. So Theta is one of those. Samsung, we just talked about with the NFTs in universities. They're going to drop NFTs on the Theta network, which is, I thought, a TV streaming network. But Theta's up a lot today as a result of this news. It's actually up for the week and the last 2 weeks, 30% for the 2 weeks is actually pretty good. But because of its large market cap, I don't think I would make that a spotlight coin. Metaverse is, it's called Everyrealm. Just got a $60 million round by Andreessen, led by Andreessen and Coinbase Ventures. This is going to be probably a major project, mainly because of the big names involved, and probably will be on Coinbase NFT. So these are things like you want to look at when they pop up. So Everyrealm, keep an eye on that. OpenSea is also launching a venture arm. Like I said, the world is overcapitalized, including OpenSea. Axie Infinity is creating a new ecosystem called Origin. You can see their coin is up a lot today, especially. But over the last week, it has the same pattern as the rest, where it didn't really catch up to the original. Reserve finally launched again in Peru. Very happy for them. We're a big investor, and I like their approach of going for market share and product market fit versus pumponomics. So they're actually creating an app that you can use stable coins in these countries and get away from high inflation. Makes a lot of sense, at least to me. SEC has an enforcement against Wonderland, which actually makes protocol control value interesting because that might be a security, right? So time is absolutely destroyed in the past year, but yeah, it's down 85% in the past month. That's pretty bad. But actually, I guess it's kind of recovered because it's only down 20%. That's, again, I wrote a whole article about these DAOs and why they could collapse, and now it's happening. Here's what I was talking about. UST listed natively on Kraken. This is just the beginning. So many exchanges are going to list UST natively. If you're holding it, don't forget you can stake it in Anchor. I was going to say stake and Anchor together. As you can see, my brain nonstop today. Oh man, I've had a lot of meetings and stuff. All right. And PRISM is out. PRISM protocol is going to let you mint the YMP LUNA tokens, and they accrue value separately. There's some like calculations here. What's the optimal rate? But I still need to look at this closer. The PRISM is out. Want to make sure you guys are aware of that, as well as Redacted number 3 being hinted in this interview where Do says that LUNA is going to be backed by a reserve of a bunch of other assets like Bitcoin and other things. So just a hint on what Redacted 3 possibly could mean. And what's funny is, and we'll get to the LUNA pricing, a lot of other stuff happened this week, like the Terra World land sale, although I think it sold out pretty quick. And we also had Anchor agreeing to populate this by 450 million. So right now the yield reserve is like 26 mil. It's going to run out in a couple of weeks, if not days. But if they replenish it with 450 mil, Anchor will survive. So Anchor is looking quite safe. And Mars also came out with their lock drop. You can go here. I should put this in the notes, actually. The Mars lock drop. Let's open this up in another window here. We also have Yuzu mentioning that they're going to give LUNA now. So Oasis is going to have LUNA on it. This is really weird because LUNA or Rose is on a separate blockchain system, Oasis blockchain, right? And Yuzu is on EVM, on Emerald. So now we have LUNA somehow traveling all the way into the Yuzu ecosystem. By the way, I didn't check what the Yuzu thing is, the Yuzu price, but it's been at a very high inflation this whole time. I've just been farming Yuzu and Rose, and I haven't checked in a while. So hopefully it's at least broken even, right? I mean, that's the goal. But of course, hopefully it's up a lot. Nationals is going to be the team. So last week we talked about the rumor of which team it was going to be, and we guessed Nationals based off of the evidence from the reporter. So Terra, LUNA is going to partner with the Washington Nationals baseball team. So congrats to that partnership. However, LUNA is still flat for the last week, and basically it seems like everybody is just waiting for the news, and none of this news was good enough to move the needle on this, and it's still catching up like the rest of the coins to Ethereum and Bitcoin. Binance Chain, they're going to combine with Binance Smart Chain. So BNB is now one chain. The only reason I can think of this is that they want to say something nice without saying we want to get rid of Binance Smart Chain. Actually, what is it? Binance Smart Chain is the right one. So BNB is the actual chain. So there's two things they could do. They have BNB as the new, it was always BNB as a new coin, and the system is called BNB. So I kind of like this. It's a lot better. And I guess they're doing more validators to make it more decentralized, which is also great. And it's going to be multi-chain. All right. So this is actually really cool news. Maybe Binance Coin should be the second coin of the week, although it has been doing pretty well in the last month too. So back to price target of 500, I would say 600 is all-time high, right? Oh, almost 700. So let's put BNB as kind of the coin that is probably a lot of stuff coming forward, especially after they invested in Forbes, right? All right, and then they also invested in Manta. So look at GLMR. GLMR is up 20% today as a result, and KMA should also probably be in our coins, spotlight coins as well, but BNB is probably smarter. So I'll put KMA as like the kind of guest spotlight coin. All right, MATIC. Oh, and just for background, KMA, GLMR, and Manta are the same team, but one of them's on Kusama, the other one is on what is it called now? Polkadot. I couldn't believe I forgot. And they're both on privacy networks. So just that's the background. And I'm running a little low on time, so I'm going to go a little faster. Polygon and Cere network are launching a media platform, DaVinci. MATIC, again, is up a lot today, but it's still catching up. So over the week, it's still down 10%. We also have Curve coming on to Moonbeam. So Moonbeam, like I've been saying, has been very undervalued, and it's been hit crazy hard. So it went down to like 450, finally on its way back, still down a ton this week. Actually, Moonbeam Glimmer might be underlooked this week, so keep that in mind too. If you're minting it or farming with Moonbeam, just keep holding on. I think I wouldn't like dump anything for this at these prices. FTX stocks are coming. If you guys know, FTX has been crazy, expanding everywhere, marketing everywhere. You have, Super Bowl ads. They're buying up stadium names. Now they're coming up with stocks. It is not unlikely that FTX will surpass the volume of like Robinhood soon, and well, I mean from a stock volume even, and also catching up to the traditional stock programs. And what is going to happen is the user base of FTX will be much younger, so they will be more growth coming into FTX. So as you see like the user base grow rapidly on FTX, most likely it's a younger demographic, but a lot of them were coming from crypto are now going into stocks. And you might see something creative like trading Ethereum for Apple stock. You can do that on Terra protocol on Mirror, but that could happen for real stock exchange / crypto exchange. So these are all things to think about. I don't think there's actually a stock market plus crypto market app, is there? I think every stock exchange is pretty isolated to stocks, even though they offer the ETFs. FTT was our coin of the week several weeks ago, and you can see it's doing quite well in the last month at least, but flat because it had that dip from everybody, the bottom of January 25th. All right, looks rare was discovered to be a Ponzi scheme. So people would stake it, earn more, but then the team was cashing it out the whole time. They cashed out 10,500 Ethereum, washed it in Tornado Cash, and right now it's actually coming back up, which is funny. After all this news of like this money washing, it's kind of coming back up. Looks Rare was an airdrop too, by the way, if you haven't checked if you had it, and it's a decentralized NFT marketplace, so it's an OpenSea competitor. And then next, sorry I'm going a little faster today. I just have a lot of stuff I have to get to. I apologize. I really am sorry about this. Solidly Exchange is live. This is exchange made by Andre Cronje, and he's the man in crypto. And this is on Phantom, and I don't think there's a coin that's out yet, but this promises to take care of a ton of kind of things that are wrong with exchanges today. So it's like not about incentives. It's not about like pools. It's just about being a good exchange and low fees. So right now, Phantom is also on its way back up. $2, still down, catching up like the rest of the projects here. And moving forward here, this is something I want to talk about, which is be very, very, very careful with whoever you talk to. Even if you talk to me, it might be a fake me asking you for money, right? So be very, very careful who you talk to. This person here was on a Discord channel. He really thought it was like the team was going to give him an NFT, and it keeps going. They work with him for like weeks. All they wanted him to do was to put an NFT in his wallet, and that's it. Like approve it. But what happens is they gave him an NFT that when you approve it would give you access to WF for Aave. So this whole conversation, you can see like they put the money in his wallet and they stole his Aave Ether out. But he put it in another wallet. So if he put it in his main wallet, that would have been like millions of dollars stolen. Luckily, he put it into a kind of like a burner wallet, you could call it. And then they stole the money from there accidentally. And he realized later, he's like, oh, shoot, like I should have, a good thing I put in the other wallet. And they kind of like brushed him away, saying like, you suck. All right. And then continuing the bad news of crypto, BlockFi is going to pay $100 million in penalties due to its crypto lending product. I think they're paying interest in crypto, which is a big no-no if it's a security, right? So this is actually going to be very interesting for other projects. What are they going to do with interest lending protocols? And finally, in terms of action items this week, Galaxy token is on CoinList, and you need VPN to access this. So I will also put this in the links. And then finally, another airdrop, Handsome. This is obviously a cash grab, so I'd probably sell this right away. Even though they have like incentive programs coming up, it's not worth it. Just take the money, probably a couple $100 if you're staking on Atom, Osmo, or Juno. And I think I stopped staking Juno. Maybe I should have kept staking it. All right, so that is the week. That is the news for the week. As you can see, my brain is constantly under mush, and it's hard to make these, but I will keep doing it for you guys. All right, so thank you, and we'll see you next time. Good luck out there.